Every business out there is sitting on an army of potential salespeople they're just not using. And I'm talking about their own happy customers. So what's the problem? Well, most of them are silent. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can close that gap and turn that silent majority into your most powerful marketing asset, and do it all automatically. And look, we're not talking about some tiny, incremental changes here. This is about real, immediate, bottom-line results. Just think about that for a second. An 18% jump in conversions in 1 week, all from adding one little badge. That's the kind of power we're talking about unlocking. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the core problem, what we call the social proof gap. Then, we'll look at why the old ways of doing things are just broken. After that, I'm going to share 5 psychological secrets to completely fix it. Then, we'll check out the system that puts it all on autopilot. And finally, we'll tackle those last few questions you might have. Sound good? Let's jump in. So first things first, we've got to understand this fundamental paradox. You have happy customers, right? So why isn't your website just overflowing with their praise? Well, that disconnect, that's the social proof gap. And here's why that gap is so incredibly dangerous today. Trust has completely shifted. The bottom line is, people just don't trust businesses anymore. They trust other people. All your amazing marketing copy, your clever ads, your big promises, they're all kind of discounted from the start. The only voice that really cuts through the noise is the voice of a peer. And without it, you're pretty much invisible. Okay, so we know what the problem is. Now let's get into the why. Why is this so incredibly hard to solve? Well, it turns out the way most of us have been taught to ask for reviews is just fundamentally broken. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've been there. You send that polite email, they reply, "Of course, I'd love to." And then crickets. You follow up, and they've totally forgotten. It's not because they don't like you or your product. Nope. It's because of something much, much deeper about how our brains are wired. And here's the problem put into perspective. Studies show that a potential customer needs to see about 8 positive reviews just to start trusting you. But the average response rate you get when you ask, it's tiny. You're basically trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky eyedropper. It's just not going to work. And if you want the cold, hard number, here it is. A 6 to 8% response rate is actually considered good for standard manual review request. Just let that sink in. That means for every 100 happy customers you ask for a favor, you're lucky if you hear back from 6 or 7 of them. The system is just not built for success. So what's the big villain in this story? It's a psychological quirk called present bias. For your customer, the effort of thinking of something to write and typing it out, that's right here, right now, it's immediate. But the benefit, helping out your business, that feels abstract, distant, maybe something for later. And our brains are wired to prioritize the now over the later, every single time. So the review gets put off, forever. Okay, so that's the bad news. The problem is real, and it's psychological. But here's the great news. Psychology also gives us the solution. So let's dive into 5 secrets that completely flip this dynamic on its head and can literally triple your collection rates. Secret number 1 is a classic for a reason. It's the Reciprocity Principle. You might have heard about it from Dr. Robert Cialdini. The idea is simple. When you give someone a small, unexpected gift, they feel this powerful, genuine psychological pull to give something back. Suddenly, leaving a testimonial isn't a chore anymore. It feels like a natural, easy way to say thank you. And you might be thinking, does a small reward really make that big a difference? Oh yeah, the results are absolutely staggering. Look at this. That standard 6% response rate we talked about, it jumps to 25%, sometimes even higher when you introduce a small reward. That is a 3 to 4 times improvement. It's a total game changer. You stop begging for reviews and start creating a system that actually earns them. Okay, secret number 2, and this is so critical. Timing is everything. You can't just ask whenever. You have to ask at that moment of peak satisfaction, what marketers call peak delight. Right after a project wraps up successfully, immediately after they give you a 10 out of 10 on a satisfaction survey, right when they renew their subscription. These are the golden moments when your value is fresh and top of mind. Now for secret number 3, you have to weaponize video. Get this, a landing page with a video testimonial on it converts on average 80% better than one without. 80%. Why? It's because video transmits emotion, tone, and authenticity in a way that plain old text just can't. It's the closest thing you can get to a real-life word-of-mouth referral online. Secret number 4 is all about getting specific. A vague testimonial like, "Great product, highly recommend," is, well, it's nice, but it's basically useless. It doesn't help a potential customer solve their problem. But a concrete, specific outcome. We cut our customer onboarding time from 14 days down to 3. Now, that speaks directly to a prospect's pain point and proves you deliver tangible results. So you're probably thinking, this is all great, but it sounds like a full-time job. And you know what? You'd be right if you tried to do all this manually. That's where secret number 5 comes in, and it's the glue that holds us all together. You have to automate the system. You need something that automatically triggers the ask at that perfect moment, instantly delivers the reward, and immediately displays that new social proof right on your site, all without you lifting a finger. So we've covered the psychology, we've walked through the strategy. Now let's talk about the solution that puts all 5 of these secrets into one simple, automated platform. Let me introduce you to SocialProof.Reviews. This is how it basically turns that whole strategy into a push-button system. The built-in reward engine handles the reciprocity to triple your collection rates. The AI summaries automatically pull out those specific, high-converting quotes for you. Full white-label branding makes the whole experience feel like it's coming directly from you. And then you have a whole suite of beautiful widgets, carousels, badges, walls of love to display that proof everywhere it matters most. Now, I get it. Whenever you see a system that seems this powerful, 2 big questions usually pop into your head. What's the real return on investment, and what's the risk for me to just try it out? Let's tackle those head on. The 2 objections we hear the most are always about cost and complexity. So let's just clear the air. First, a tool like this isn't really a cost. It's an investment. It literally pays for itself. If it helps you convert just 1 or 2 more customers a month, it's already generated a positive ROI. And as for complexity, you can have your first campaign up and running in about 20 minutes. Seriously, no developers needed. And just to make this a complete and total no-brainer, there is absolutely 0 risk to you. You get a full 30-day free trial to prove it all for yourself. You don't even need to put in a credit card to get started. And of course, you can cancel anytime. You can see the value with your own eyes before ever paying a single dime. So what's the potential upside here in real-world numbers? Well, using the ROI calculator on the site, a typical business doing about 5,000 monthly visitors with a $100 product could be looking at an extra $18,000 in annual revenue. This isn't just about collecting some nice quotes for your website. It's about capturing real money that you're currently leaving on the table. So at the end of the day, the final question isn't whether social proof works. We all know it does. The real question is whether your business has a system in place to generate it reliably and automatically. This is that system. So the only question left is, when do you want to start capturing that revenue?